Hi, my name's AJ Norden, and this is my risk assessment matrix. Okay, so if it's a little difficult to see here, we have consistent on top, singular on the bottom, major on this side, and then minor on this side. And in the center, we have whether it affects people or revenue and property. So the two scenarios that this could be used in most likely would be at a machine shop, either as the employees, so this would be on the wall somewhere so you can identify, and as the boss or the head mechanic at a shop as well. So let's see, for a small risk, um, the first scenario would be small engine parts left unsecured on a table. So that would be a singular risk because it's happened one time. It's pretty minor. It's small engine parts. They're just on a table. And it would be affecting property or revenue because if someone were to knock a small part off the table, the part could be damaged. So that's a singular risk, doesn't happen all the time, but it would affect company property. So the course of action for that then would be that you have to alert your own supervisor. So it wouldn't be a store-wide thing. It wouldn't be a new rule needs to be made. It's just, hey, this is a little unsafe. I'm going to tell my supervisor. Now, for a large risk, let's say the biggest risk would be a consistent hazard that is major and affects people's safety. So, a scenario for that would be, let's say this engine shop has a heating bay for parts, and the PPE that was ordered for the people that go into that bay to retrieve heated parts is not rated to the correct temperature. So that means that if you put on the PPE, even if you're prepared, it could still melt or rip a hole in it and you could be seriously injured or die. That is a consistent problem because everyone who would put on the PPE would be subjected to that risk. It would be major because you're in a heating bay, which is extremely dangerous, and it would be people related because employees could be injured. So for that scenario, not only should you alert your own crew supervisor, but the supervisor above them and the head of the company should be alerted because that's not just a small problem, that's a supply issue as well. So, additionally to that, an emergency meeting would need to be called so that the entire company can be alerted of the issue and the employees can be apologized to for such a big hazard being introduced at work. Additionally, there not only need to be new rules, but new training to make sure that you check your PPE for the correct temperature rating before you put it on and go into the heating bay. For the last one, we'll walk through it together. So let's say that an assembly crew only has one person at a time assigned to mounting a turbine. So like a whole turbine disc. And these are big engines. This is a CFM engine. And one person is assigned to mounting a whole turbine disc, which is like that big. The hazard for that would be singular because it's one crew with one person assigned. It would be pretty major because a turbine disc is an integral part of an engine and very expensive. And it would be affecting property or revenue. Again, a turbine disc is expensive. Now, the course of action for that and the possible hazard would be um, the single person mounting the disc. They don't have anyone to make sure that it stays locked on and mounted. So if they have to go away to get a tool to get a securing piece of hardware, the turbine disc could fall off and break, which would cost so much money to the shop. So that would be a singular major risk to property. So that'd be like a moderate risk situation. Um, the course of action to fix that would be to alert your direct supervisor, so the leader of your crew. We would have a crew meeting to make sure that everyone in the crew knows that that's not okay. There has to be at least two people assigned to the turbine disc so that one person can be putting it on and making sure it stays, and the other person can get hardware and tools. And then there has to be a new procedure, at least for the crew, so that you know two people at once. Or you could also extend that to the whole shop if the supervisor deems it necessary and thinks that that's a very important thing to be telling everyone. I, as a supervisor, would extend that to the whole shop, just send out a reminder, hey, two people per disc. But it would be up to their discretion if it's only that crew making the mistake. So yeah, those are three scenarios where this could be used, and two situations either as the boss or the employer or employee that you could use it in.